Hi, I'm Jay Woodwolf, and welcome to Cauldron Brew. I am here with my good co-host Julie Rockwell.
Hello.
So you came up with the idea of, since we're between seasons, came up
Right.
with the idea of sitting around the cauldron and we just discuss whatever.
Yeah. I thought, since our new season starts in a couple weeks because of everything going to be happening in this month between Mother's Day, Memorial Weekend, and stuff, that we would just sit and talk, so that way people can get to know us or whatever topics that, you know, we just feel like bringing up and discussing and just have a nice chat.
Works for me.
That way, it gets the difference, different things. So
So did you come up with an idea of what you wanted to kick this off with?
oh, there's so many. No. Um the one, because I was really sitting there wondering, thinking about it, because I've seen, with social media and everything, and I was really just diving into it on the pagan part of different parts of social media and seeing what's out there. And I the only thing that really stands out to me, and I have no explanation for it, why so many people think crystals are such an important aspect of witchcraft.
I have no idea, and I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
You know,
Like I when I first started out into this, like when I left Christianity and started studying other religions, and I found myself in traditional Wicca.
right?
Like even the authors that I read, they didn't really talk about crystals, and the only thing that may have come up is a crystal ball for divination, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's, because my path is the darker one. So, people have said that there are, you can use certain crystals to, in the darker parts of of the darker arts part of it. And everything that I have read mentions none of it. I'm not in now. To me, crystals are pretty. They're a good focal point if you want to use them. But like there's this one that had designed an altar for Lilith, and it had rose quartz on it and a few other ones that do not represent her and do not have nowhere the meaning behind it with her. And I'm just like, if you want to use crystals, by all means, have fun, but correlate the correct stuff with whatever deity you're going to be using it with. Now, I could see a rose quartz with Aphrodite or, that type of a thing, but
Right.
not with the darker goddesses to that aspect. And now, if you're a crystal lover to where your whole being is deals with crystals, call yourself New Age,
Right.
because witchcraft in the because back in the day and back for however long, no matter how many books you read, because people have to really dive into books to know what's fake and what's real. Because
Yeah.
there's so many people out there that will write a book on whatever witchcraft or Wicca or any of that aspects, and will sit spew so much crap, and people just eat it all up. And it's like, no, you gotta, but that's the one that I see so many of them are crystals, crystals, crystals. They're good for a focal point, but they don't do it what you want them to do. Like so many people, well, I have them in my car, I have them on me, I have them
They're
this.
not deity.
Well, not just that, they're not going to be doing what you want.
Right.
like, for the, tiger's eye for protection. It's not going to protect you. It'll help with certain things that you want to do, but don't, too many people rely on the crystals thinking that they have the magic properties to do, find love or protection or this or that. And that's not what they're designed for. At the end of
I
the
don't.
day, they're there, you
Right. I
know.
don't use crystals myself. So
I don't either. I have
I
a
mean, if I
few
had a
because they're
slingshot,
pretty.
about yeah, if I had a slingshot, there'd be ammunition for my slingshot.
Yeah, I have a
And
few that
people,
people.
I'm sure we're gonna get. Oh my God, there's sacrilege. There's some shit.
Well, okay, the day an actual crystal without anything to it that you just have and it actually does something,
Oh, I
you
have a
know.
rock in this box.
Well, yeah, see, I have beautiful crystals that were given to me as gifts, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to use them. There's, properties. Those are pretty. But see, that's what I mean. They're pretty and they're good for a focal point on your altar, or if you want to decorate your altar, use it correspondingly, or
Yeah.
not just an altar. If you want to, a shrine to a
I
certain
don't even think it's
deity.
a crystal. It's just a pink rock. I don't know what the hell it is.
I don't know. I've seen some that are supposedly really well polished. It's like a pink quartz, pink rose quartz, like a rose quartz. Just it's super finely
I think so.
polished.
I think that's what these are. Is I don't think they're exactly rose quartz though.
Yeah, see, it's hard to tell on camera.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. There's so many people. There's so many places to buy things that say they're this, they're that, but they're fake.
So they're in. They're.
Right.
I got one in each box
Well, see,
up
but see, if you
there.
want to have something on a shrine or something, like to work to in something, but they don't do what people think that they do. They're not magic.
Right.
They're, you know,
They're just on top of my bookshelf, sitting there. The rest with the rest of this shit.
right.
I mean, there is a. So, right now
Well,
it's set
yeah,
up as a love altar.
right. But see,
I
like
mean,
I got,
I do anything? As you can see, none of the candles are burnt down.
right.
But
Like, well, yeah, but see, like with me, like people have given it to me, like this one rock. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's of a skull, but and then I have a tiger's eye here.
I got some rose
It's
petals.
but see, they sit up on my desk, you know. It, I have no problem if people, want to use them, but they got to get away from they have all these magical properties because they don't.
Right.
They're
Yeah, it's
not
a good
gonna.
focal point.
Yes, if they don't protect you, they don't bring in love, they don't do what you think that you want them to do.
Now, if you want
And
to make a wand and, you want to put a crystal into it, like a
well,
clear
see,
quartz or something,
yeah, but
that's
see, that's
again, it's a
still
focal point.
it's a focal point, and a wand, I'm sorry to say, is decoration.
Yeah.
A wand is just a tool that your finger can do just as much as a wand. That that's why they always say don't point at people if you're saying stuff because it projects to what you're going after.
Yeah.
It's a tool. It's not the
But I
be
never
all
do
end
this.
all. Oh, that is not the devil.
No. No, this
Oh,
is actually hexen.
well, yeah, there's that, and then there's
So
that.
you're pointing at them, but it's
Well, yeah, there, different things with the hex, there's that, which is not the sign of the devil.
no.
There's that to reverse it. There's a bunch of different things, you know. It's, this, to blind, with certain things with your hands to blind, stop people from seeing you type of a thing, and a lot of the different things to do. But it's just, a crystal is a tool, just like everything else people want to use in the witchcraft, or just say in the craft. It's just tools. It's
Yeah.
not good. It's not magical. It's not, you know,
It's like
the
my candles up here. They're just tools.
yeah, Hollywood has done wonders for people to think that wands have properties to them. Like, do we all wish that they were like, you know, like Harry Potter? Yeah, you know how much fun that would be.
That
But
would be spectacular. Here's what
yeah,
Harry Potter got right. They went to school.
that's just it. They had to learn, they had to research, they had to put in the effort to be able to do what needs to be done.
Yep.
Any part of the pagan path is learning, is
Sure
research,
is.
and you have to be able to distinguish. And everything is with a grain of salt that you hear online in the social media age. I've gone to comments on so many different posts, and I just sit there and start laughing at the sheer ignorance of people that would sit there. And like when I do egg cleansing, you do not salt. Any form of salt is protection, right? So I've seen people actually put salt when they start doing the properties to return the sender spell for the egg. And there's certain properties that you put in because you're returning the negative energy that's being sent to you. So you put in things into the
Well,
glass of water
depends
with the
if you
egg.
got right. If you got depends on your salt too. It could be Himalayan salt. It could be
Well, yeah,
regular
well,
salt.
yeah,
It
and
your
any
black
kind,
salt.
well, yeah, any kind of salt is protection. And I've seen these people actually put salt in with the egg that they're returning to sender, and they're like, "Well, it's for protection for me." No, you just protected the person you're returning it to.
Yeah.
It's like you null and voided it. You don't use salt. It's sitting there. These people just want the views, the clicks, the gotta follow you, and half the time these people are talking out of their ass. And it's like, it just drives me nuts. This, oh, thank you, just like how people use white sage for cleansing. No, you're inviting spirits. You're inviting things to manifest with white sage. One, you shouldn't be using it, you know. But if you're gonna cleanse or whatever, use a different type of sage. Use rosemary. Use pine. You
There's
know,
oh, what was it? Lavender.
yeah, lavender can be used too for a certain type. That Palo Santo wood is used for, besides cleansing and some other properties. But my main, people need to freaking research. It's not that hard to look up, you know, what can be used for cleansing. It's not hard.
There's a guy at work. He's Native American. He's Hopi, and his wife is Chippewa.
Right.
And they go to the reservation quite a bit.
Yes.
And one time he brought back a braided sweetgrass,
Oh, I
and he
love
said,
that stuff.
"Here's a gift for you."
Yes.
So I do I burn it? I burned it once for the smell, and but it was a blessing to me to receive it.
Right.
Otherwise, I would never have bought sweetgrass.
Right. See, I use it with a lot of some of my things, but because I have sweetgrass all over my house, but I love it. But see, I'll take pinches of it off and put it in my bowl when I'm going to sage, or I'm going to cleanse and do different things of workings. But, I also have, a line in me. But
Yeah,
it's to where, you know, I'm just, and then people that also drive me nuts. There's certain practices that are closed for a
yeah.
reason. And you have these people that just want to do what they want when they want and try to get in, you know, with no respect for the traditions. They just feel that they can just waltz right in and do what they want. And it's like, and they have no
Like
regard
they're
for the
entitled.
history.
No, sorry, there's some practices that you are not entitled to.
Exactly.
And I hate
They're,
that mentality of entitlement.
oh, yeah. Well, so many nowadays, well, I want it. So you're going to have to give it to me. No, don't
No.
have to do nothing. There are some traditions that are closed that are traditional, and you should damn well respect that.
Yes.
And I get so tired.
Here's
This
the
is like
thing.
a bitch session.
I could choose for whatever reason. You can choose for whatever reason not to teach someone, not to mentor someone
Yes. Well,
for
that,
whatever reason that you see fit because, it's your time, it's your effort in the person.
right.
If
Exactly.
somebody comes along, oh, you have to teach me. I don't have to teach you
No,
a damn thing.
no. That's just it. The
Teach you some
entitlement,
fucking manners.
entitlement, what I've seen in the pagan communities, and I say, community ease from a lot of things, is to where entitlement and ego,
Yeah,
that, especially the ego, it drives me up a wall. It's get off your high horse, knock yourself down a few pegs, and become humble.
yeah,
Because so many, well, I've been in this for this long, and this is the way how it should be, and da ba 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 ba. It's like lip service. It's like I have no use for that.
uh
It's everyone is on their own path. Everyone is allowed, to study what they want as long as they're not harming themselves or anything or anyone. You know, let them be them,
right,
but don't feel that you have a right to go to whatever practice you want to take. It just like with the cherry picking. Well, I'm going to take this part and I'm going to take this part. And, if you want, but, you can be those different things, but research, actually get into it,
right,
learn about it, learn the history, learn the background, see if it's a good fit for you, not just because the aesthetics look nice.
right. See, there's three different traditions that I practice and study,
Right.
and I don't cherry pick anything out of them.
Well, no,
There's, and they're all separate. There's traditional Wicca,
right,
Druidry, and
right.
Dragon Magic.
Yeah,
Okay, so there's the three, and
right,
they're all I research every aspect of all three. I don't
right,
cherry pick. Oh, I'm gonna use this with this. No, I don't do that because
right.
how much? It's like taking a house. How much are you going to take away from a house when it's no longer the same house?
That's
How much of
just
the
it.
foundation are you going to tear out before it's no longer that house?
Well, that's just it. See, you can you can, practice multiple paths, but see, because you put in the time, you put in the research, you put in the work for it. That's what you're supposed to do. It's these people that just, because of the aesthetics, well, I'm going to just take a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and just call themselves eclectic witch, but they don't have any formal paths like
Right,
you do or that I do to be able to navigate down of that thing, down that
right,
path of it. They just, want to call themselves a witch. And it's like, okay, but what are you doing in the craft to, to call yourself that?
right. So one of my pet peeves is the crystal thing. Another one is that whole cherry picking thing. If you're going to study a tradition, study it all.
Yes,
All right.
the whole thing. Well,
Yeah,
it's never ending, but
because if you're going to start cherry picking, you are not okay. Uh, and another pet peeve of mine is like all these new agers calling themselves Wicca, and then you ask the question, well, does your tradition of Wicca can be traced back to the fundamentals of what Wicca is, Gardnerian and Alexandrian traditions. And if they
Right.
say no,
They're
they're
not
not
Wiccan.
Wiccan. No.
Right. See, even though I don't follow that path and but I know enough that there's, a lot of stuff that goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
But, but at the same time, it's to where it's these people that, well, I'm Wiccan. Okay, well, you start bringing stuff up because I'll hear them talking. So I'll go to you and I'll be like, is this what this is? And you're like, no, that's why we've talked about it because I
Yeah.
know nothing of that path because I'm not drawn to it. It has, I've always been drawn to the darker
Right.
because that's where my callings are at. And it's to where I'm just, I don't know. But again, that's the aesthetics of it. And also one of my pet peeves is everywhere I look when I type in witchcraft only refers to Wicca. It's
And a
like
lot
it's
of it
been
is
a,
New Age Wicca.
yeah, well, that's just it. Witchcraft itself has been around since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
It is so much older than Wicca. And I get so tired of seeing, you know, Wicca brought in witchcraft. It's like, no, it didn't. I get so tired of everything I look for witchcraft of different books. Everything is Wicca. And I'm just going through, and so many people write these books. Same with these people that write books on the dark magic. That is so full of crap. And it's like, no. Yes, even
Uh,
Kitty agrees.
Another one of my pet peeves is
Oh, pet peeve day.
it's like you get all these young guys and they're sitting there calling themselves warlock, and I'm like, so what makes you think you're a warlock? And they're like, well, I'm a male witch. Well, that's not what a warlock is.
Right. Well, see, that's just is because of Hollywood has portrayed that's what a male is in the witchcraft community is a warlock
A
or a
witch is a witch.
sorcerer. That's just it. A witch is a witch, male, female, whatever. You know that it's neutral.
Right.
It's just like the magic. It's neutral. It's what who you are is what you make of it.
Yeah, it's just, the energy is just out there floating around. You bring it in, and it's what you intend to do with it.
Right. That's just it.
A
It's the
hammer is
person
just a
that makes it.
tool until
Yeah.
you use it. Now,
Well,
if I
just like
decide to build a porch or a house with that hammer, that's the proper use. But if I decide to bash somebody's skull in with a hammer,
yeah,
do you
exactly.
blame the hammer? No,
Well,
those are my actions.
apparently nowadays,
Just
yeah,
saying.
it's the hammer's fault, apparently. But, but but that's just it. It's to where people have to understand magic is neutral. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not good or evil. Now it depends upon. It's all on the person. Now, if the person, even with me working with the dark energies, it is of a reason for it, but I'm not evil. I'm not going to go like with my cursing and hexing. There has to be a damn good reason why I'm going to do it. With all that energy and time that I'm going to put into it. Now, if someone decided, they wanted to learn it and then they're just going to start going around, going after people, it's the misuse of it.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of taking on a bad rep to where even others in our community because of what I do look down on me for it because I'm an outcast for working the dark because they think I'm evil. I'm like, yep, okay, bunny foo foo. Oh, you want lovins.
Yeah, he does. So, audience, my kitty, he's 2 years
Camera
old.
shut. He's a beady kitty.
He's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but he's a sweetie.
Yeah, but that warlock actually means oathbreaker. It's an old term, and it actually means oathbreaker, liar, deceiver. So if you're
Yes.
going around calling yourself a warlock, you're a magical deceiver. You're a magical liar. You're a, you know,
Yeah,
you're a
you're
betrayer.
basically
You're a backstabber.
yeah, you're basically tattling on yourself without you
Yep.
even knowing it.
You're a dishonor to the craft.
Yes. And
Is
see
what you are.
that's oh yeah. See that's just it. And on the flip side of everything, nowadays it is nice having social media that has the good aspects of information, but people have really got to be picky about it.
Yeah.
They hear something, be like, okay, that's interesting. Instead of taking that person's word for it, that more than likely doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground, do research, look it up, go to other sources besides one person and see if it even resembles what it's supposed to do. But a lot of people are so lazy nowadays, they just take what is being said for the truth.
Right. When you're actually supposed to do the research.
Yeah, because you figure out of just say in general, we're just going to do witchcraft or witches. Out of a
Uh huh.
hundred people that say they're witches, 80% of them are not. So you have that 20% that actually know their stuff of what they're doing, what they're talking about, but they're silenced because of the other percentage that doesn't know crap.
Right.
And that's why I just wish people would do research. People would stop being so gullible and thinking everything they see is real. They've got to stop that.
Yeah, they need to start figuring out, the differences between fantasy and reality.
Hmm.
They really do.
They do. You know, I write fantasy for a living. You know, it's to where yeah, it's so easy, to make stuff up and make it look like it could be real. But to sit there and turn around and say werewolves and vampires are real, yeah,
That's fantasy.
yes, that deals with werewolves. Would it be cool if they're real shapeshifters? Yes, I would love to have them around.
By the way, this is one of Julie's books. It's called One Last Hunt. So this is actually her.
Yeah,
Yeah, I looked. You actually signed it.
yeah,
I got your
well,
autograph.
yep, yeah, you asked me for that, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, which is going to be
Are
interesting
you
because
gonna revise this one?
yes, I am. That one I'm working on. That one will end up being about mm, roughly, or by the time I'm done, about oh, let me get two of my books together that I've gotten. It'll be when it's done about that thick.
Okay.
So that was just like a basic put together. So it was what I really enjoy. It's just basics right now, but that's not for sale. It's just sitting in there. So,
Yeah.
I
But
wish
I
what I
ended
wrote
up with
was
a
real.
copy. So
Well, yeah, because you asked for that, so I got
yeah.
one. A couple of our friends have that. It's just basic stuff for right now. But yeah, I'm slowly putting together because I have a lot of stuff to go through and be able to cite sources and everything. But that's on my off time when I'm not writing or narrating.
So yeah, people. She has books. This is actually one of her fantasy books. You got what? 20 now published?
40.
40. Holy
I,
shit.
yeah, I have 40 books published on Amazon with Kindle, paperback, hardcover. I also have, I think, 23 on Audible and iTunes. And I'm just now narrating my own books. So,
And you also do
besides,
candles.
yes, I have my candle business that I got it. Now that my sinuses and I'm actually healthy again with my lungs, I can start making those again and all that. So, because I got shows coming up, my book's coming up in August, where I'm going to be doing a meet and greet, and a candle show is in September. So,
Nice. Um, yeah. But I do think, once, my coworker, me and you have talked about her. My
yes.
coworker gets her building up and going. I think I should talk to her about doing a witch's flea market. See if we try to get a few people together. Maybe once a month do a witch's
Well,
flea
yeah, do
market.
once a month of, local vendors, especially in the pagan community, to be able to in a space and, have it on a weekend to where people can come in and,
Maybe like a
get
Sunday, do a witch's flea market
yeah,
once a month.
Saturday or Sunday, depend on which would be better for downtown.
Yeah,
But it would be, because then, especially for local artists,
yeah.
that no stores, no nothing, but just the local artists to be able to, get out there, because there's so much talent. And the one store that I'm in, that mostly Michigan and merch, has my stuff in there. It's all local artists. That's it.
Yeah.
And which is nice to be able to, a place to be able to do that.
So we'll see how things go, and
Yeah,
especially with
that'd
my
be nice.
coworker.
Yeah, that'd be nice if she's able to get that, up and running and get all that situated and start doing stuff with the community.
Yeah.
So,
She wants it there for a space available for the local community, but at the same time, she wants to be able to weed out. I said, well, if you're gonna do this, start off small, like getting people together, see what they
yeah,
want,
so yeah, have the
and
meeting of the minds
yep,
and stuff like that, and start, who's real, who's gonna flake out, and who actually wants to do something.
right. And if you commit to it, make sure you're gonna do it. Yes,
Exactly.
unexpected shit happens.
Yeah, life happens. That's normal. But as much as you can, give a heads up, not just not
Yeah,
show up. Because that's the one thing
if
I can't stand.
right, there might be times where I work on a Saturday and not knowing it until like Thursday. So,
Right. But
and if
you
I
would
was to
still
do
give a heads
something,
up.
right, as soon as I knew,
Yeah. It's one thing if someone gets sick or something, unexpected happens. That's life. It's not going to happen every time. You
no,
let them know right off the bat, hey, this just happened, and then whatever goes on.
right,
But,
you
as if
get
that
sick,
keeps,
you get,
yeah,
if you got kids and one of your kids end up sick, and
right.
so
Well, that's, I mean, life happens and you always have to have that give and take, but be respectful, and that's the
yeah,
one thing anymore. So many people are not respectful.
or either that, like, have somebody else go with whatever activity you're hosting. Have somebody else to
if
where
if they
instead of
can.
just you, right, have somebody else pick up for you.
Right. Like have a backup plan
Yeah,
if possible.
yeah. If it was just like a book study, hey, you know, like let's say I ran a book study and I called you up, hey, this I have to work today or I have to work on Saturday. Can you run the book study for this hour?
Right. Yeah, it's something simple like that. And if the person can't, because it's like a last minute type of a thing, then it's just postponed,
Yeah.
you know.
But that's the thing with, I don't know what it is here, but down in the Detroit area, you got things going on and people in the thousands are attending. And we can't even get, 5 people to attend something.
Well, yeah. Well, down there, uh, there's a lot more people, and it's more of a diverse. area. And, I've never been down there with all their stuff, but I see a lot of their stuff happening. And granted, it took over time for them to build it up to that point. But but this section where we live are so ego driven that if it's not their way, it ain't happening.
Right.
And or if you don't practice their way, it ain't happening. And so it's very, I don't know what the word is, but it's to where I have no use for this community because
I
they're
I don't
not
either.
accepting. They're not
No,
accepting.
they're really not. It's like, oh, it's my click or it's nothing.
Yeah. And if you want to
And
be a
I'm
part of
at the
my
point to where I want to tell them, you know what, fuck you and fuck your click.
well, basically that's what it is. If you don't follow their set of rules or their way of thinking, then they want nothing to do with you. They do not they don't care if you're another path or whatever. We've seen that when we've had meetings to where, well, to where some people get so irate because you disagree with them.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's allowed to disagree as long as you do it respectfully. And because everyone's not going to think the same way.
Exactly. But
But
have
but
at least a little bit of respect for somebody else's
tr-
tradition or
yes, path, because you know with with my tradition, a lot of people don't respect that because of what I do.
yeah.
And it's like with some of the things, and because they get so disrespectful because you don't agree with how they think. And that drives me up a wall. It's like your path, your way of what you do is not the same as mine. You're allowed to have your difference of opinion. You're allowed to have your own way of doing things.
Right.
There's
Me and
no two
you,
ways.
me and you are good friends, but
Yes.
we're on two different paths where we do very, very different traditions.
Yes.
And but we're able to come together and work together.
We are. And because we're also respectful of each other and we respect each other. I respect your path just like you do mine.
Uh-huh.
And
I may not agree with it, but I still respect it.
well, yeah, because it's not your path of doing things like how it is
Right.
mine. But just like, I don't
No, there's some
like
things that, I would love to learn from you is like more hexes and curses and
right, well,
um
yeah, which will happen. But I like with certain things that you believe in that I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. But
right.
but that is just but that's you. I'm gonna because of how good of friends we're. Even if we weren't the greatest of friends, like when we first met, I still wasn't. I'm not going to put you down, or I'm not going to dismiss what you do because that is you. That's your path.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own path. Even you know, I don't do like for me personally. Like I like being solitaire, but my path is a solitaire.
Yeah.
There's but if people that want to be in covens or whatever, that's fine. That's what they choose to be. That they, what I call I don't care if I'm going to get shit for this or not. To me, that's a hive mind. Everyone thinks the same, is the same, maybe different levels, but it's all the same. A set of rules and everything else. That's what they want. If that's what they like, that's what they're comfortable with. More power to you.
Yeah.
I'm good with that, but that's not me. See, I have my own rules that I follow, and because I'm also a solitaire,
I
I've
have my
sat
own
there,
rules too.
right? But see, you're in a way you're a solitaire. Well,
Yeah.
there's no groves around. That's the correct word, right? For druidry, groves.
Yep.
Yeah,
None.
it's
There's none around here.
there's none around here, but it's to where and there's a few covens, but they're not traditional Wiccans as far as I remember. from what I was
No.
told. So, but it's always been, so there's nothing of with your past to where, so you're a solitaire, but you're
Right.
still
And then
learning and you're still researching and growing.
and the draconic path that I'm on, that they don't practitioners of that one are not group oriented
No,
whatsoever.
well, no, that is more of a solitary thing, isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah,
sure
because
is.
that path, I've never researched that path yet because I'm still going on. Well, just like with mine, can you imagine a group of necromancers together? Unless it's a family thing or, you know, like, but not everyone
That
can
would
do
get
that stuff.
dangerous real quickly.
But see, that's just it. Not everyone can be one. There
No.
are specific things for it. So we're very far few in between that actually will acknowledge what we do. But see, that's in season 3 when I get to talk about that. But it's to where everyone has their own path, everyone has their own experiences of what they do, of what they see, what they feel. And, so many have got to acknowledge, be like, you know what? That it's basically you do you, I do me.
Right.
It's don't be disrespectful and don't be ignorant about it.
Yeah.
So many people are like that,
That
you know.
that's what gets on my nerves is, people want to be disrespectful. Like I don't disrespect anybody and far as what their tradition, I may not agree with it or some of the things in it, but that's not grounds for me to disrespect you.
Exactly. See, I won't disrespect you unless you disrespect me.
Right.
And then I will not respect you ever again because you just showed me that you don't deserve it.
Right.
And then you will not like what comes out of my mouth because I have no filter. I give that, NFGs.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm at the age in my life anymore to where I don't care. You do you, I do me.
Right.
So
And here's the
respect me and
thing.
I respect you.
Right. Here's the thing. If a person is not part of my life, and they want to sit there and talk and you know whatever, and my form of thinking is, why does your opinion even fucking matter to me? You're not part of my life.
That's just it. It's just lip service.
Yeah,
It's like, and you matter
I'm glad
how.
you're thinking about me.
That's just it. It's like, but it's like, you matter how to me. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, do you really feel that compelled to tell me that much to where you're going to disrespect me? Your opinion? Or is it like on social media to where you can just keep on scrolling?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you have to feel the need to actually, be disrespectful?
It's that nose in the air mentality.
Yeah, that high horse people on high horses get knocked off a lot quicker,
Yes.
you know, and when they hit that ground, it's gonna hurt.
Mm-hmm. I sure will.
But it's definitely been been an interesting one.
Yeah, we put aside, I like this, we call it sitting around the cauldron, and you came up with that, and it's just us talking. It's not, nothing educational. It's our points of view. It's our thinking.
Right.
It's outside of the
The
educational.
right. It's this is actually what we normally do.
Yeah.
But at least that way people see, besides the normal of educational type stuff that we do, but it's also just sitting sitting around bullshitting and just talking and just being us.
Yeah. So before I end the stream, I want to share this.
Uh-uh. Is it good or bad?
That's good.
Oh,
So, so the upcoming podcast schedule. All right, just so today is 5/6. Sitting around the cauldron. It's kind of what we just gave you.
yeah, just different
Next
topics
week,
off the head, off top.
next Saturday, there will not be any podcast because I'm going out of town with family.
Well, then it's Mother's
Uh,
Day weekend.
yep. And then on the 20th, we'll do another sitting around the cauldron.
Yep.
We'll just sit here, talk bullshit, and sling it all out. Um, on the 27th of this month, there will be no podcast because I'll be out of town again.
Right, and that's Memorial Weekend, right?
Yep,
Yes.
that's Memorial Weekend. Um, and then after that, we'll get into season 3, A Darker Shade of Magic, where Julie will, you know,
Run it
talk all
all.
about the
The
the dark
darker,
arts.
yes. Yep. Yeah, episode 1 and 2 is mine.
Yep,
Yeah, because you're episode 3.
yep.
Yeah, then we have the rest to be determined. Hopefully, we can get one that practices
There's
Egyptian magic.
Yeah, I want to get her, and
Yes.
she's on our Discord, and I also want to get uh, a guy that
Uh,
I know out of Detroit area that does the ceremonial stuff, and I want to try to bring him on, and we could talk to him about the ceremonial.
you're right. Yeah, the ceremonial aspects of it.
Yeah, so that's our lineup.
Yes. Yeah. So next week, there will be no podcast.
No, no podcast,
Nope.
and
Yeah.
that was something I just threw together.
What? Just that thing on there that just now.
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, it's nice so that way, our viewers actually have a thing of what we're going to be doing
Yeah. So sitting around the cauldron is just, a side thing, people, that we will be doing between um
between.
seasons.
Right. And in case, yeah, unless something with going on, and we have a open spot, so
Yeah.
yeah, just sitting around, just chit chatting.
Yeah. Hey, we did this a little longer than we do our normal podcast.
Well, yeah. Season 2 was usually, not much we could really expand on those subjects. Now,
Uh-uh.
season 3 will probably be, I know my two, the introduction and the necromancy and all that stuff will probably be around about an hour long.
All right.
So, because there's a lot to cover in those.
And it's not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not something that you can just pick up and run with. Definitely
No.
not. It's has a lot of, you definitely have to know yourself. You have to have done the shadow work. That's another thing that drives me nuts. I've seen people, you don't need to do shadow work. Yes, you do. You really do. You don't have to do it all at once, but you should always be working on yourself to better yourself. Mental health is a big one of importance. To take care of yourself,
Yeah.
you know. But
So I hope you guys like this segment of sitting around the cauldron. If you guys want to see more of sitting around the cauldron, let us know. Join our Discord. Um, we even invite people from our Discord to join us here on the podcast and give their thoughts, and if they want to be heard, we don't mind.
yes. Nope.
So let us know what you think, and you know we'll go from there. In 2 weeks we'll have another sitting around the cauldron.
Yes.
So that's pretty much our scheduled lineup, and for the next month or so.
Yes, give or take, depending on how long that. our season 3 will run. It'll
Yeah.
vary. So, but yeah, definitely for season 3 is the month of June. So, as of right now.
Alrighty. I think that's all I have for today.
Yeah, that's all I have too.
We kind of rambled on there for a minute.
Yeah, but that's the fun of it though. There's
Yeah.
no schedule. It's just a ramblings and ramblings. It's
Yep.
fun though.
All right. Well, everybody, you have a good night, and thank you